Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we will give you an update on Marcus Williams' injury that he suffered on Sunday night against the Cincinnati Bengals and what that means for the Baltimore Ravens going forward. We'll tell you all about that and more in just 1 second. Before we do, though, it is time to sub for dubs, folks. How about that win for your Baltimore Ravens last night in dramatic fashion? And no better way to celebrate a Ravens victory than by subscribing to the Ravens Rundown. We are closing in on 7,300 subscribers on the channel. Need your help to get there. We're about 12 subscribers away from reaching another milestone. So whatever you're doing, just drop it right now and hit that red sub button. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. And join the family here on the Ravens Rundown for the latest Baltimore Ravens news, rumors, trades, free agency, and more. We cover it all in one place right here on the channel. Subscribe now, and you'll be glad you did. Marcus Williams has been placed on injured reserve with a dislocated wrist, and there's no timetable for his return. Unfortunate news for the Ravens. And the good side of all this, though, of note, it's not a season-ending injury, according to Ravens head coach John Harbaugh. So that's very good to see that this isn't going to end the season. We don't know when he's going to be back, but Harbaugh seemed pretty positive that we will see Marcus Williams on the football field before the end of the season. So that's good news there. Now, as far as the bad goes, trying to replace Marcus Williams will be no easy task by any stretch. Marcus Williams, without question, has been the best player on this Ravens defense this year. They paid him a lot of money, bringing him in from the New Orleans Saints, and he's been phenomenal this year. I love what I've seen from Marcus Williams throughout the first 5 games. It's unfortunate. You look at the game-by-game breakdown. Those first 2 games, he was outstanding. 12 tackles against the Jets, had an interception. Miami had 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, and, I mean, he's been the leader of this defense. He has done a really good job, and now, where do they go from here? That is the next question for this team, to try to replace somebody on a defense that has not played good this year. The Ravens have the 31st ranked pass defense in the National Football League. And it would have been much worse had Marcus Williams not been out there. So where does this defense go from here, trying to replace such a great player like Marcus Williams, who's been leading this defense, who's been the best player for that side of the ball through the first 5 games of the year? We'll talk about where the Ravens go from here and their options in just one moment. Before we do that, though, let's show some love to Marcus Williams. Let's wish him a speedy recovery. Would love to see him back on the football field as soon as possible. Type 32 to send your best wishes to Marcus Williams. Don't know if he's watching or not, but let's spam 32 in the comments section and so show some love to Marcus Williams and hope to see him back on the football field here pretty soon. So what's next? You may be asking yourself, what is in store for this Baltimore Ravens team going forward with Marcus Williams gone? Well, there's 2 names. The obvious being Kyle Hamilton, who the Ravens picked in the first round of the draft last year. And then there's Geno Stone, who has a little more experience than Hamilton does. And when the injury occurred last night, who did Harbaugh turn to? He turned to Stone. Here's what he had to say about both Stone and Hamilton. Both guys have their own styles, and I think they're going to both play well for us. So I'm looking forward to all of those guys as a team, as a group, kind of filling in for Marcus and not losing a step on that. So here is the depth chart for the safety spot right now. I think everybody just assumed that Kyle Hamilton would be that guy, but Geno Stone slides into that role for now, and we'll see. I think that you're going to see both of them play. I think Kyle Hamilton will have an opportunity to be that starting safety alongside Chuck Clark. The two could be paired up together, but in the meantime, he's going to have to earn that they're not going to just simply hand it to him. And how about Chuck Clark, too? That's another factor in all this. We spent a lot of time this offseason talking about how Chuck Clark was on the trade block, right? Remember Chuck Clark, when they drafted Kyle Hamilton, requested a trade. He wanted to leave Baltimore. And the Ravens held on to Chuck Clark, and aren't they glad they did at this point? With all that went down, with Kyle Hamilton still not quite up to speed necessarily to take on the role in place of Marcus Williams at this point, they have to be happy that they have Chuck Clark there. That's another factor in all this, is not only Kyle Hamilton and Geno Stone trying to battle that out, but the fact that you have Chuck Clark there as well as a safety net, to me, that's big for this team right now, that they did not move on from him despite his request when Hamilton was drafted. So, more on Stone and Hamilton in just a second. Before we do, though, we are offering Ravens jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. And you can get a Marcus Williams jersey. You can get a Kyle Hamilton jersey, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. They come in all shapes and sizes and colors, whatever you're feeling. If you want to wear the traditional purple, maybe the black, the white, I don't care. We have plenty of options to take care of you. Even if you want to throw it back to the Ray Lewis days, we got you covered at chatsports.com/Ravens jersey. Get yours today while supplies last. Be styling and profiling in some Ravens gear. You'll be glad you did. So let's tell you about Kyle Hamilton now. Kyle Hamilton, the 2022 first-round pick by the Ravens out of Notre Dame, and he was a first-team All-American in this past draft. And the comparison that he's drawn, a lot of people are pointing to, is Cam Chancellor. And look, I said this at the time, I'll reiterate. Kyle Hamilton was one of the best players coming out of this past draft. He was a steal for the Ravens to pick him up when they did. They're outside the top 10. And quite frankly, they need to play him more. I know that, you have to earn playing time, but we've seen glimpses of it. I mean, in the preseason, what was it, first game? Kyle Hamilton had, a fumble recovery in the very first outing. I mean, sure, he was very raw at times, but the talent's there. I want to see Kyle Hamilton on the field more than I do Geno Stone. Here's the statistics for Hamilton. In the 3 games that he's played, against New England, he had 3 tackles and a forced fumble. Against Miami, he had 4 tackles in a pass defend. And then against the New York Jets, he had 3 tackles. So look, Kyle Hamilton already has made his presence known with that forced fumble against New England. I want to see more Kyle Hamilton, please. So with that, pick a safety for me. Who do you want to see more of? Is it Kyle Hamilton or is it Geno Stone? Let me know in the comment section. Who is the guy that you would be playing if you were John Harbaugh and this coaching staff? If it is Kyle Hamilton, type KH for Kyle Hamilton. If it's Geno Stone, type GS for Geno Stone. Let me know in the comment section. KH for Kyle Hamilton, GS for Geno Stone. So let's tell you more about Geno Stone now. 2020, he was a 7th-round pick by the Ravens out of Iowa, and last season recorded the first interception of his career in Week 18 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And although he was drafted by the Ravens, and is a member of the Ravens right now, he hasn't always played his career in Baltimore. He was actually cut by the team in 2020 after they drafted him. Now, obviously, they did bring him back, but nonetheless, the Ravens have already shown in the past that they weren't necessarily sold on Geno Stone. The statistics so far from Geno Stone coming in as a role player has not had any significant impact of some sorts. 2 tackles against Cincinnati was the highest that he had all season, and just 1 tackle in the previous 4 games. So we'll see what the Ravens do as far as these 2 options go. I'm on Team Kyle Hamilton. Want to see him play more than I do Geno Stone, but he's going to have to win over John Harbaugh and that coaching staff. He wants to see more of that playing time. You tell me, what's your confidence level of this defense without Marcus Williams? This is such a huge loss. As I said earlier, and I'll say it again, the Ravens just lost their best defensive player right now. He's gone. Where does this group go from here? Scale it for me in the comment section. 1 through 10. How confident are you in this group going forward? Let me know. Scale 1 through 10 in the comment section, and we'll see you next time here on the Ravens Rundown. Have a great day.